Once upon a time in the land of Mesopotamia, there was a small but prosperous city-state called Ur. It was a time of great discovery and invention, a time when human civilization was just beginning to find its footing in the world. It was also a time of great beauty, and in this city-state there lived a woman named Inanna, who was renowned for her striking looks and irresistible charm. Inanna was a priestess in the temple of the moon god, Nanna, and her beauty was such that it was often said she was a gift from the gods themselves. Her hair was like spun gold, cascading in waves down her back, and her eyes were pools of deep, mysterious blue. Her figure was the stuff of legend, with curves that drove men to distraction and left them utterly enchanted. But it wasn't just her looks that made Inanna a force to be reckoned with. She was also intelligent and cunning, with a mind that was as sharp as her tongue was sharp. She knew how to use her beauty and her wit to get what she wanted, and she wasn't afraid to do so. In a time when women were often seen but not heard, Inanna was a woman who commanded attention and respect. One day, the king of Ur, Sargon the Great, came to the temple to pay his respects to Nanna and to see for himself the priestess who was said to be so beautiful. When he saw Inanna, he was struck by her beauty, and he knew that he had to have her. He called her to his chambers, and it was there that he laid his cards on the table. "Inanna," he said, "I have heard tales of your beauty, and now I see that they are true. I am smitten by you, and I want to make you my queen. Will you marry me?" Inanna looked at Sargon, and she saw a man who was powerful and wealthy, but also a man who was used to getting what he wanted. She knew that if she said yes, she would be giving up her life as a priestess and losing her independence. But she also knew that saying no could be dangerous. But Inanna was not a woman who was easily cowed, and she wasn't one to be rushed into making decisions. She took a few days to think about Sargon's proposal, and during that time she consulted with her fellow priestesses and the leaders of the city-state. They all agreed that marrying the king would be a wise move, as it would ensure the continued prosperity of Ur and its people. So Inanna agreed to marry Sargon, and the wedding was a grand affair that was talked about for years to come. Inanna was a stunning bride, dressed in the finest silks and jewels, and Sargon was a proud and happy groom. The two of them ruled the city-state of Ur with wisdom and justice, and they had a long and happy marriage. But as the years went by, Inanna began to miss her life as a priestess, and she began to feel like something was missing. She spoke to Sargon about her feelings, and he, being a wise and understanding king, allowed her to return to the temple of Nanna and resume her duties as a priestess. Inanna threw herself into her work at the temple, and she soon became a symbol of hope and inspiration for the people of Ur. She was a beacon of light in a dark world, and her beauty and her wisdom were a source of strength for the people. But even as she was finding happiness in her work, Inanna knew that her love for Sargon was something that she could not give up. She went back and forth between the temple and the palace, serving as both a priestess and a queen, and she found that she was able to balance the two roles quite well. Inanna and Sargon ruled Ur for many years, and they were beloved by their people. They were a team, a force of nature that could not be stopped, and they left a legacy that would be remembered for generations to come. And as for Inanna, she continued to serve as a priestess in the temple of Nanna, and she continued to be a symbol of beauty and wisdom. She was a woman who knew her own mind and her own heart, and she was a woman who was not afraid to take control of her own destiny. In the end, Inanna's story is a story of love and passion, but it is also a story of strength and resilience. It is a story of a woman who refused to be defined by the expectations of others, and who refused to let anyone or anything stand in the way of her dreams. She was a woman who was not afraid to make her own path in the world, and she was a woman who left a lasting impact on the world around her. Inanna's story has been told and retold for generations, and it has become a legend that is passed down from mother to daughter, from father to son. It is a story that reminds us of the power of love and the power of strength, and it is a story that reminds us that we all have the power to shape our own destinies.
Please subscribe to my channel Lessons of Life and press the bell notification icon.